Thank you very much, Madam Member, for giving me the opportunity to ask the question to the appellant. Philip, I'll ask you a few questions. First about you, your family, and how you came to Canada and your stay about in Canada. So tell me about your education, your profession, and what was the reason you came to Canada?
So I have studied in the university in Brazil, where I'm originally from, and I work as an IT professional. The reason that I came to Canada was I came as economic immigrant. I apply from outside of Canada under the skilled worker, and I got accepted, and that's how I came to Canada.
All right. And was this first time you came to Canada, or did you visited Canada before this as well?
No, I never visited Canada before. The first time I landed as a PR on October 23. Yes, it was the first time then.
Okay. And what about your family composition? Can you tell me a little bit more about your parents, grandparents, your siblings, your brothers and sisters?
Um, yes. So I raised in Brazil. So I had my grandparents, and also I had my parents and my siblings. Everybody's living there. My parents passed away when I was young, and I had my grandmother who raised me, and also I have two siblings that they also live in Brazil.
Okay. Please take your time. Like, do you want some break or you're good?
I'm good, thank you.
So we understand you came, as you told, came as a federal skilled worker category. At that point of time, why you didn't add your child as a company member?
My child was very young at that time, and because I was initially, I wanted first to come here, settle myself. I want to come to Canada, settle myself, make sure I have everything I needed. So as soon as I was settled, I was thinking of bringing her here. I added here as a non company. She was very young, so that's why I wasn't sure if I can support her. I wanted first to settle myself and have everything ready, and after bring her to Canada.
So you mentioned this was your first time ever in Canada when you landed as permanent resident.
Yes.
So how long it took you to land to the first job, and the job was some temporary job, or it was in your own profession? And how do you what you did to settle in Canada?
So as long as I got the PR, I started applying for jobs, and it actually was pretty easy. I got a job in the first couple months of arriving at my profession as an IT. So I got a job at a big corporation pretty fast after landing.
Okay, and what else you did to settle in Canada? You got the job, which was in your profession. Did you do anything else to like settle?
So when I first arrived here and I got this job, then as normal, I got some friends from my community, and also from the position I was there. I started to hang out with coworkers. At that time, I also had a girlfriend. For a little bit of time, we decided to buy an apartment together, so we moved in together. But things didn't work very well, and we decided to break up. And because for reasons, of ownership of the property, we decided just to sell the apartment and split the money. And yes, I have really good connections in Canada.
All right, thank you. And I look into the document. You also got your driving license and your health card as well. Okay.
Yes, I also did that right away upon landing in Canada.
Okay, and you purchased the property alone or with your girlfriend?
We purchased the property together.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Now I'll ask you a question about the reason why did you go back to Brazil, and you stayed in Brazil, and your relationship with your grandmother, your siblings, your daughter. So I'll ask you some question about that. So tell me the reason behind going back to Brazil was your grandmother's health. why your siblings were not able to help your grandmother? What was the reason behind that? Why you had to go?
Yeah. I had to go back. So my grandmother was taking care of my daughter after her mom passing. And besides that, the grandmother was the one that raised me. I was very emotionally connected to my grandmother. So as soon as I heard that she's not doing well, I just left everything here, even when my life was perfect here. And I was ready to have my daughter here. So I have to leave everything and go back to Brazil, take care of my grandmother. My other siblings, they have a family and they don't live that close. So they weren't able to take care of her. So I was able to be there with her. And at the same time, I was thinking of hiring a nurse, but at the same time, she was a little bit fussy. She's not an easy person to deal with. And when the people would try to hire, they had problems dealing with her. So I thought it was my responsibility, as she raised me and she was next to my daughter. It was my responsibility to be next to her and take care of her. And so this put my life on hold.
Okay, great. Thank you. You already answered my next question as well. But let me ask you a few questions about your daughter, her education, and her relation within the family. So how old is your daughter, and does she go to school? Can you tell me more about her school and about her relationship?
Yes, so my daughter is 12 years old at the moment. She goes to school. She goes to public school in Brazil. She has good grades. She's been through different challenges, passing her mother and after passing the grandmother. This has really impacted her performance. And she's also studying English, and she has a good and adequate knowledge of English language.
Excellent. Thank you. So about your relationship between your daughter and your grandmother, because your grandmother was responsible for raising her in Brazil. So can you describe a little bit more about the relationship between your daughter and your grandmother?
Well, after my grandmother started to take care of my daughter, it was a little bit challenging. It's a kid. She has to go through all this psychological trauma of her mom passing. But they had great relationship. My grandmother's a great person, very caring. I know how she raised me. I was sure that she was taking care of my daughter. That's why this was giving me the peace of mind to be in Canada and to be able to build a life. So can you understand, like after her passing, I was obligated to come back and make sure things are okay. And now I'm in this situation where I am right now.
Thank you. And can you describe your relationship with your daughter, because you spent a lot of time after your wife's death in Canada without your daughter. So daughter spent a lot of time without you. So how she accepted you, and how's your relationship with her now?
Yeah. Well, it's been some time since I went back to Brazil. To be honest, our relationship has the up and down. When I was in Canada, I was trying to communicate with her as often as I could, because we understand of the different of the time, and we didn't have the physical presence. I didn't have the physical presence on her life, because I have to be there so I can provide the basics for her. So coming back to Brazil and all these things that happened has really affected her psychology. It's a challenge relationship, but we are getting better. That's why I think after all this that we've been going through, going back to Canada is really gonna help her.
Okay, and last, I have a few questions about the reason why you want to come back to Canada. Can you tell me why do you want to come back to Canada, basically? And you already lost the job, and you don't have any connection here, it seems. Do you have any plans in place to why, and exactly starting with why you want to come back to Canada?
So the most important reason is because the type of profession I do is very specialized, and it has been really challenging for me to find a job in Brazil. I've been searching for a job for a while, and nothing has seemed to happening. While in Canada, I have already a good experience at a big company, good references. I worked there for a short period of time, but it was good enough to make enough network that I can approach, and I can make sure that if when I'm allowed to come in, I'll be able to get a job right away. So financial reasons are very important. Also, I still maintain a good network. Yes, I might have to sell my apartment and stuff, but there's still like friends there in Canada that they were with me throughout when I was living there, and when I was back in Brazil, they were reaching out to me to make sure how things are going. So there's a good network still, and I think my life is in Canada. I started doing that. Things went that different way because of the circumstances, but I think that when I get back, I can get back and like find a job, get my connections, like get bonded again with my friends and stuff.
Okay, thank you. And who will take, what do you think, who will take care of the child at home when you're at job if you come back to Canada? Do you have any arrangement for that?
At the moment, I'm just thinking just to make things work in the immigration process. But I know that there's a great childcare program from the government of Canada that I can rely, and I can get the support I need from the government as a single parent at the moment. My type of job that I do, I'm allowed to work remotely for some time. So this can also help me while I try to figure out everything that has to do with the childcare. And definitely the finances from the job that I'll be having and the salary level I will be, it will also help me and give me the financial confidence that I'll be able to support my daughter in regards of someone taking care of her if needed.
Okay, now the last question. Your daughter doesn't have any friend or family member here in Canada, and how she will adjust here, considering the best interest of the child. If you consider she's there raised in Brazil, don't you think the Brazil is better place for her to grow and be raised, go to school and college there, or how you consider Canada is better place or best interest of the child is to be in Canada?
I believe that the life in Canada will be better for her. She will get definitely more opportunities. We will have the finances to get the psychological support that is needed in the beginning until she start building up and feeling more confident, getting more friends. It's going to be a new start for both of us, be together, bonded together. I believe that Canada will give her the future opportunities that she deserves as a kid. And also I can give her the opportunity because I'll have a job. So I will be able to support her here.
All right, thank you very much. That's all from my side, Madam Member. Thank you very much.
Now it's time to submit our submissions. Based on the information of the hearing, as a Minister Council, we would like to dismiss the appeal of the appellant in regards to his residency obligations for the following reasons. First of all, the appellant did not meet the 730 days that he has to be present in Canada within the last 5 years as his per residency obligation as per section 28 subsection 2 of the Act. The appellant was only here for 190 days, and after he flew back to Brazil. Our second point will be in regards to the ties of Canada, and that's the reason also we would like to dismiss the appeal. The appellant does not maintain any factual ties in Canada anymore. He sold his apartment. He has been away from the workforce for a while, which means that he's not that close to his friends. He's been away from Canada for so long, and this doesn't give him any actual close ties to Canada anymore. After, we have to examine the ties that he has back in Brazil. So the appellant, born and raised in Brazil, he speaks the language fluently. He has already a significant experience in the Brazilian, in the local workforce. And at the same time, all of his family members, whoever are alive, they are still there, as well as his daughter, which seems that he maintains pretty well ties in Brazil. And we believe that that's main of the reasons that we want to dismiss the appeal. After, we want to examine the interest of a child. The appellant, as he said on his testimony, that he's really worried about his kid and he wants to offer them a better future. But we believe that the child is in a very young age, and it will be better if he stays at an environment that he's already familiar with. It speaks the language, he's at the same culture, so it will be more helpful for the child to be close to the family members, to the environment that they raised, and somewhere that they can speak and communicate the language that they are fluent. And the last point we examined was the hardship that the appellant will face if he has to go back to Brazil, which means that we believe that the hardship will be on a minimal effect if we consider that he can find a job as long as he has enough experience back in Brazil. He worked for a few months in Canada, but this doesn't give him the intense ties that it will bring him such a hardship or emotional connections that he will have this affect his life back in Brazil. Overall, we also examined the humanitarian and compassionate reasons under Section 25 of the Act. And for all the reasons that they are above mentioned, we would like to dismiss the appeal. Thank you.